to waste anymore. Welcome again. My name is Kyle Burritt. I'm an associate principal at Elk Grove High School. Welcome to College and Career Ready Night here in District 214. We are talking all about business education, which is a good thing because that's a passion of mine. And along with some of my friends on the panel here tonight, we're going to be talking all about business management, administration, finance, and marketing, the business career pathways that fall here under in District 214. We have students in the pathway to join us. We have 2 instructors in our pathway at various District 214 schools. We also have a business partner of District 214 and then a dual credit partner. So we have some pre-slugged questions to ask them as they have some questions, and I'm sure you do too. But we want to stay on time. And the first thing I want to do is I want to have each of the panelists introduce themselves. You can see their names on the screen. I'm going to start with the District 214 teachers. So Mr. Bob Murphy, would you like to say hi to everybody?
Yes, hello, good evening. My name is Bob Murphy. I am a business teacher at John Hersey High School. I teach the honors accounting course, intro to business, consumer education, and sports and entertainment marketing.
Excellent. Thank you, Mr. Chad Freshley.
Yes, hello. My name is Mr. Chad Freshley. I teach at Elk Grove High School. I teach personal finance as well as the college dual credit entrepreneurship class and the college dual credit business course, as well as introduction to business. Welcome.
Okay. Thank you. Excellent. Frank, do you want to introduce yourself to the group?
Sure. My name is Frank Schoen. I'm a branch office supervisor and registered investment advisor rep for Transamerica Financial Advisors, and I've been a business partner for the schools for some time. Excited to be here.
Excellent. Thank you. How about our dual credit partners from National Lewis? Can you guys introduce yourself?
Hey, everybody. My name is Rob Watson. I'm a full-time faculty member at National Lewis. I'm responsible for the Entrepreneurship program as well as one of the coordinators for the Bachelor of Science in Management program. So very excited to be here. Thanks.
All right. Excellent. Thank you. Okay. And maybe our most important panel members, because they always offer a great insight. I'd like 2 of our students to introduce themselves. Why don't you tell us what schools you go to also? So Emma, why don't you go first?
I'm Emma. I go to Buffalo Grove High School. I've been in the business pathway all 4 years of high school. I did sports marketing, personal finance, college entrepreneurship, and college business as of now.
Excellent. Thank you. Nicole or Nikki?
Hi, I'm Nikki Pastersky. I'm a senior at Elk Grove High School. I had a little bit of career confusion in my junior year. I was doing healthcare and then I switched to business my senior year, and it's the best decision I have ever made. I'm happy to be here.
Excellent. Thank you. Thank you for the great introduction. Again, my name is Kyle Burritt. I work at Elk Grove High School in an administrative role. I am sharing my screen now, and I'm going to take off the screen share in a little bit so we can really see our presenters and really get a feel for some of their answers. I was asked to share just a little bit about the career pathways. You may or may not have heard the opening remarks. There'll also be some closing remarks tonight, specifically surrounding career pathways. But our discussion tonight is going to focus on business education at the high school level. And really, there's 3 different career pathways that fall under that. There's business management and administration. There is also finance. And then there also is marketing that fall under the auspice of career pathways. And I know I clicked quick, and I know you can't read that information, but I want you to know that it is available on multiple sources. At any District 214 school website, you can access all of the different career pathway information. At a site called redefiningready.org, you can find that information. And then also in District 214 under the whole entire handbook for all the courses and the descriptions and the career pathways, it's about this thick and it's got a lot of information. If you're one of those people that physically needs a book, we'll get you one and you can read it because I know some of this stuff is hard to read online. So a lot of different information and resources out there as you go on a career pathway journey. So if you're an 8th grader joining us tonight, or whether you're an 11th grader taking classes into your senior year, we have the information for you. And tonight is just part of that. So we're going to try and get some questions and get you some information so you can start to learn a little bit more about these 3 business education pathways. Okay. At this point, I want to stop sharing. We have a few more people waiting to get in. But while we're doing that, I'm going to start with the community partners. Okay. I'd like to know from you, Frank. I'd like to know a little bit about what a typical workday looks like for you in this career field.
Sure. Now, since I wear a lot of hats, that could be a various answer, but to boil it down to a couple of basic things, what we're involved in doing is helping people improve their financial status, whether that's teaching them how to get out of debt, showing them how to invest, save money in taxes. So on any given day, we may be sitting down with a client, gathering information about their current financial status. Then we would take that information once we've gathered it, we would put it into the computer models. We would come up with some solutions, do some research as we shop around to some of the different programs or the different companies that might have an answer to help them get from where they are to where they want to go financially. Then we would have another appointment with that client. And these appointments, back in the day, they were always in person, but this day and age, a lot of it's done just like we're doing this meeting today. It's done over Zoom, which has kind of expanded our reach, so it's not just local appointments anymore. It's appointments all over the country. And we'll be going over those solutions. And if the client wants to maybe open an investment account, maybe they're looking at some insurance or college savings, or just simply how to structure their debt better, then we're going to implement those solutions for that client. So that'll be something that would happen on a day-to-day basis. But also, since a large part of what I do is teaching and training people how to start and develop their own financial practice, there's also elements of sitting down and interviewing people that are potential candidates to be a part of the firm. There is helping to onboard some of these people that both they and our firm decided, hey, we want to move forward and this is a good fit. So it's about training them how to get the ball rolling. And then there's a lot of just ongoing training. So there's a lot of classes that I might be teaching a class. I might be sitting down and coaching someone individually one-on-one. And then, of course, there's just the administrative side of things. When you're running an office, your typical, compliance procedures you got to make sure are implemented. All of the ins and outs of running a typical office.
Excellent. Great. You answered one of my follow-up questions in that answer, but any specific training, any certification that you have that someone would need in the financial management or wealth management field?
Sure. So I want to point out that a degree is always a good idea, right? It just shows a level of dedication and seeing something through completion. But I want to emphasize a degree absolutely is not required for a career in what we do. But there are professional certifications that you need. You need to get a securities license, a Series 6, Series 63. To run a branch, you need a Series 26. If you want to be a registered investment advisor, that's kind of another level of licensing called a Series 65. And then it also helps to have a life and a health license doing what we do. So there are professional certifications that are required. A degree is a good thing to have, but it's not necessary to have for someone to have a successful career here.
Excellent. Thank you for sharing. Another question, kind of switching gears here, but for our dual credit partners. Okay, you mentioned majors, you mentioned college, Frank, in your answer there, but specifically to Mr. Watson, what are some of the college majors for students in this pathway that they might enroll in? And then what job opportunities are available to them based on those majors?
Great question. Let me start by sharing a quick story. I'm a teacher first, so I always got to tell a story, right? When I got my MBA, I moved to Chicago and I was working for a medical device company called Medtronic. And I got the largest commission check that I had ever experienced in my life. I mean, I probably should have been calling Frank, right? I got some money to invest now. But I also want to share with everybody on the call, I was also the most unhappy I've ever been in my life. And so my message to all the students on the call, all the parents on the call is, obviously National Louis, I'm going to tell you, is a fantastic school, but no matter what school you choose, because there's a lot of great ones out there, make sure you choose something you care about. So some of the things that our students tend to care about in terms of passions, we have a lot of students who are focusing on the concentration of management. They know that they want to help other people become successful. We have a lot of marketers, and we have a marketing concentration as well as a marketing minor. Those students actually work in conjunction with our communications program to create like the most beautiful online magazine that I've ever seen. So they get a chance to use those marketing skills. We have leadership. We have a ton of minors, including computer science and computer systems. And of course, I got to plug, last but not least, the entrepreneurship concentration, which is the one that I work with the most. And I've actually worked with some of the faculty on the call coming into their classrooms. We have amazing and entrepreneurial students in District 214. And in terms of some of the jobs that students secure, we have students that go work corporate, right? We have students who go work for some of the large financial firms, accounting firms. But what we have a lot of is we have a lot of marketers, and we have a lot of future entrepreneurs. Just to give you an example of how an entrepreneurial student might take their career at National Louis. 3 young ladies in my last class, which is kind of the entrepreneurship practicum. These are people who are saying they're crazy enough to want to go pro. And I say, okay, what is your idea? They say, look, we're graduating and we would love to we had 2 Mexican students and 1 from Uruguay. They wanted to put their flag on their graduation sash. Stay with me. All of a sudden, all the other students are asking, how can I get the sash that you created? And it all of a sudden turns into a huge business idea. These 3 girls are currently in what we call market research, customer research phase, where they're talking to different people about sweatpants and their clothing design. And so the point is, they will have started a business before they graduated. And if you ask me what we're doing well at NLU, it's supporting students with that kind of drive. A lot of great marketing opportunities. So you can go corporate if you leave National Louis, but you can also become an entrepreneur.
Excellent. That was a great answer. I want to keep that entrepreneurial spirit. I'm going to lob the next question to someone who teaches the same type of program at the high school level. So Mr. Chad Freshley, can you tell us a little bit about the entrepreneurship program at the high school level in 214, but then also expand upon some of the other opportunities and courses that students can take?
Yeah, sure. So I teach the dual credit entrepreneurship course. And what's nice about the course is it's a real kind of hands-on, minds-on approach to it. So students come up with a real business startup idea, and then they're going to carry that idea throughout the semester, throughout the year. And one thing that's unique about District 214's program is we have mentors. So we have people that are from the community that are actually going to sit down and work with students to help foster their entrepreneurial spirit, carry that business startup idea from ideation all the way to the very end. So we go through everything from financial statements, we go through the ideation phase, we go through marketing, we go through digital marketing, and all of the things that you would need to bring an idea to the marketplace. So that's a little bit of the idea behind our entrepreneurship course. In addition to that, what's nice about District 214's program is, in addition to the mentors, we bring in coaches. So we have people from business and industry that are actually, in the trenches, so we speak, and they come in there and they're actually teaching the lesson. So students are learning they might learn a lesson on marketing from people who are in the marketing field in the local community. So that's a nice thing that District 214 does. As far as other programs, we tie that in directly from our Introduction to Business course. So Introduction is going to give you just that, an introduction to some of the business disciplines, things that you can go into, possibly major into. And then we give you just a little bit exposure to kind of everything. And then once you kind of figure out what might be your career interest, then we can lead you down the entrepreneurship route, or lead you down more of like the dual credit college business course, which is more from a management standpoint and perspective. So there's a lot of different things that we can help and assist you with. Nikki, who's on here, the panel, she's also my student. So she's currently taking the dual credit college business course. So it'd be nice to hear her perspective as well from that. And I'm sure Mr. Burrett's that might be the next thing, springboard question into that. So that's just a little bit about business classes and the entrepreneurship course, as well as some of the other courses that we teach at District 214.
Great. Thank you. Before we get to Nikki, I do want to ask Mr. Murphy a question, who's our other teacher panelist on here. And he probably has a great story too, because just like Mr. Watson, he's a great storyteller. But Mr. Murphy, can you expand upon what Mr. Freshley had said, especially the after-school opportunities for kids, DECA or other student organizations within the business pathway?
Yeah, so the only other dual credit course that I wanted to talk about, in addition to what Mr. Freshley talked about, is the accounting course. So we're lucky in District 214 to offer a college level accounting course for primarily juniors and seniors. Most of my class is seniors. I have a couple juniors in there, but what's nice about offering that course in the high school is that is definitely one of the most challenging courses in the business school that they're going to encounter. And so getting a good foundation in high school through learning the language of business, which is accounting, has been really beneficial. And so those students that have taken that course and gone on to college, some of their classmates that may have gotten weeded out through that course, which means, they wanted to be in the business school, but they couldn't get through accounting. They've been able to survive because of their background. So I teach that course here at Hersey. And then what Mr. Burt was talking about was all 6 District 214 schools also have a DECA business club that is an extracurricular that is linked up with our business courses. And so the DECA business club is a international organization, and they have a variety of different categories: marketing, management, accounting, finance, human resources. And you either work with a partner or you work by yourself, and you just get case studies, and you have to figure out a solution to that case study, and you have to present it in front of professionals that work in the real world in that industry, and then they rate you. And so what's beneficial for the students with the DECA program is just getting that comfort of talking to strangers, of talking to adults in a professional, serious manner about business topics. That is, you see their growth, pretty rapidly through being incredibly nervous of being in front of 2 random adult strangers to, over the course of a year or 2 or 3 of doing that program, to actually being comfortable and confident in front of those adults. So it links up really well with, learning the content and the knowledge in the classes to then be able to apply some of those terminology and more importantly, just get comfortable in front of adults and speak the language of business.
Excellent. Thank you. Good answer. Yes. Accounting, the language of business. Very nice. I do want to talk with some of our students. So Nikki, I'm going to give you the first opportunity to answer this question. Can you provide us with your coursework and how you have been able to apply that into maybe a real life situation or anything that has kind of impacted your life so far, something specific in your coursework?
So I actually have had a retail position for 2 years now. And right away, within the first week of working, I learned immediately about taxes and union dues, unfortunately on my paycheck, but it taught me a lot about saving right away and just the basics of how businesses run. I was able to firsthand understand how customers are important, and making customer relations upfront is very important in any business. I also, along with that, got experience in HR or human resources, which taught me the significance behind valuing your employees through the culture of your own business. That, along with customers, you just really need to value everyone that takes part in your business, and just the quality and respect within your business for everyone, no matter what hat they wear, is extremely important. Another fantastic skill that I learned through having this job for so long is just learning how to balance school, volunteer work, and a social life. That's something that'll benefit me across the entirety of my life, and learning that super early was just the best thing I've ever done. I now do it smoothly. I am a great organizer. I understand the value behind money, and just being a loyal employee, I was able to balance my time correctly, and it allowed me to grow into an independent person, which I was actually able to reflect within my coursework in Mr. Freshley's class. But also in my actual job, I saw my success through earning promotions, just flat out more money, because people recognized and appreciated the work that I put into it. Another more very business specific thing is that I had a marketing internship through the school between my junior and senior year. I was a little bit confused on what I wanted to do with my career pathway. As I said, when I was introducing myself, I had taken healthcare classes for about 5 years. And through self-exploration and just online research, I was able to realize that maybe business was for me. So before jumping into a class, I enrolled in a marketing internship, and I got one that was just 5 minutes from my house. It taught me the basics of marketing for a business or for a brand. And there was a lot of stress on time management and just being creative with promoting your ideas. It absolutely confirmed my interest in business. It also was able to redirect what I wanted to study before I joined the class. So I knew exactly what I wanted before I entered the class. And I just got a hands-on taste of marketing in the real world before I started my course. So I would honestly recommend taking a business internship as soon as possible. You can take one in the summer, in fall, and in spring. There are short-term ones and long-term ones. Mine was 30 credit hours. I unfortunately didn't make the 30 credit hours, but any time that you get hands-on is just awesome.
That was great. Thank you, Nikki. Yes, internships and micro internships are available through District 214 and a lot of the career pathway areas, including business. So that's great that you had that outstanding of an experience, and you're still in high school, which is great. What about future plans? Quickly, what are you planning on doing when you leave high school?
Right away, as soon as I turn 18, which will be in February, I plan to get my real estate license. That is something that really interests me, which is why I did the marketing internship. I'm also going to do my Harper Promise, which is a 2-year free scholarship. And I'm going to start business classes there. They have so many available. So trying to decide on a course is going to be difficult, but being able to have those free years of college will allow all the money that I have from working for 2 years. I've worked 4 jobs collectively. So all that money that I have saved, I'll be able to invest right away since I'm going to college for free. And I'll also be getting scholarships to cover my books and all the extra costs. And living at home, I will essentially be getting paid to go to college because I'll be able to invest my money immediately. So those are my plans for after high school.
That's nice. You don't sound like you need it, but if you need a guy, Frank may be able to hook you up with some financial advice, but I think you're good. I think you're okay for now. So that's good. Emma, some similar questions from you, an experience up north at Buffalo Grove, north of us, I guess, at Elk Grove. So can you tell us a little bit about some courses and maybe a work-based learning experience that you've had at Buffalo Grove High School?
Yeah, so I also had a marketing internship actually this year due to like taking all these business classes throughout my high school. I really, really like it. College business has helped me a lot in getting comfortable talking with my coworkers and my boss at my internship, because not only do I know like basic business terminology now that I can like understand what everyone is saying in the office, I can also like use it to my advantage, and it makes me sound a lot better when I'm talking and anything really. For entrepreneurship, I took that last year. I really liked that class. In that class, we had to pitch at the end of the year, like our presentation, and it really taught me a huge lesson on like being able to calm down and like center in and make an actual pitch in front of a bunch of adults without sounding like very nervous. It really helped me like be able to like stop being as nervous in public speaking. So that was really good. Business as well, I'm taking it this year, got me into DECA. This is my first year at DECA. I'm just started because of my business class. We do role plays in business class every week, which I really like because I'm a very competitive person. So just being able to like win is really fun. The business role plays. So I joined DECA this year and I'm really excited to start taking it.
Excellent. Well, thank you. Thank you both for sharing. Those are great stories. We do have another dual credit partner on here that I want to to lob the next question to, because in 214, we talk a lot about dual credit, and we say dual credit this, and we have this partner and that partner between, and I think District 214 has at last count about 8 institutions that we have dual credit partnerships with. But Duncan Sadler, can you explain just what a dual credit is, and how a student could take that credit even if they didn't go to the institution that you represent?
Yeah, absolutely. Good evening, everybody, first of all. So dual credit, you're actually taking courses that you get credit for at your high school and also through the university. And so after you graduate high school, you're starting your college career already, credits ahead. Some may be starting as sophomores when they enter the university level. So you are taking, the courses during high school with your high school instructors, but you're working with the universities, and so you get credit for that at the university level as well.
Excellent. And what about taking those credits to another institution or university? How does that work?
Yeah, absolutely. For example, if you took dual credit with National Louis University, the university that I represent, those would transfer to any other university as well. So you don't necessarily have to transfer those credits to the university that you're taking them through. They will transfer to any university that you choose.
Excellent. Great. Thank you. I want to jump back to our community partner. And also I'd like Mr. Freshley's opinion on this question as well. And it's partly because I've met your wife. I know what field she works in, and she does some really outstanding work. So I want to talk a little bit about how can you start to prepare for a career now in high school? Like, what are some of the steps that someone could do? So Frank, in your world, what could a student do now to prepare for a career in business? And then Chad, I'd like you to speak to this question as well. Go ahead and unmute yourself, Mr. Schoen.
Sorry about that. I think getting involved in just about any good, solid extracurricular activity, I think prepares you for a good career, right? We talk a lot about the soft skills, being able to communicate with people, being able to express yourself, being able to be a part of a team, learn what it's like to work on something together, learn how to work with people that have a different point of view, different opinion, being able to come to resolution. I think anything that involves being a part of a team is a good thing to be doing, whether it's a sport, whether it's drama club, I think anything, debate team, anything where you're engaged in working with others is a good predecessor for a career, right? I think that's preparing you well for being a part of a business. And then, of course, there's always certain classes that you can take. In our field, you've got to be a good communicator. So, comp lit, English, debate. I love the direction that the schools are going in with the entrepreneurial stuff, because that's a big part of what we do. And so I think that just leadership skills that get developed inside of those processes, those are all good things to prepare you for a career, especially in our field.
Excellent. Mr. Freshley, I know your wife works in marketing. Just quickly, from that perspective, what could a student be working on in high school if they wanted a career, say, in marketing, as we've heard a lot about tonight?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, first of all, just to piggyback off what Mr. Schoen said, I think that's the key too, just getting involved and getting engaged. I think that's going to help foster those skills that you need as far as leadership skills, and then working together as a team and understanding that and working on those presentation skills. So a plug for DECA, obviously that's a great organization to get involved in. What's nice about DECA is you're going to get exposure to many different competitive events. DECA has almost over 50 competitive events, everything from apparel and accessories to automotive services. So anything in the marketing field, that's going to allow you to kind of get some exposure and understand what you would do in those positions. And then you're going to be able to showcase your marketing skills and knowledge through DECA's competitive events, which is pretty cool. As far as in the classroom, I think that's what's great about the Introduction to Business course, the first course that you would take. That's just going to give you exposure to all the different facets of business. So you might realize that finance is maybe where you want to go, or the accounting route, or maybe marketing or management. So I think from my wife's perspective, who works in sales and has her whole life, she has an MBA as well from Northern, and she really enjoyed in high school taking as many business courses as possible, just getting that exposure. And I think we'd probably hear from Emma and Nikki the same thing, just gaining some experience through all those courses. And I think what's District 214 does a great job of giving you students exposure to the different things you can do. And so starting an introduction to business and then working through to the next course, the dual credit courses, you can kind of figure out what your niche is, and then you work on from there and then continue to develop that. But I think once again, just getting engaged and doing as many things as you can to have an opportunity to showcase your marketing proficiencies and that skill set that you've developed in the classroom.
Excellent. Great thoughts tonight. Thank you. Mr. Murphy, I'm going to ask you the next question. And I'm going to do that again, not that it's all about our spouses, but I know your spouse also works in District 214 in a counseling role. And so I've gotten some questions about, we've heard a lot about getting involved in all these different courses, but specifically for a freshman, an incoming freshman, what should they do? Because you can't do it all at once. And there's a lot of different course choices, and they're going to sit down with a excellent 214 counselor like your wife, and they're going to have these questions. So what advice would you give them?
Yeah, my wife is an excellent counselor. I will just publicly say that as well. She's very good at her job. But yeah, I think one thing, like Mr. Freshley said, is and I think that Nikki is a good example as well. Mr. Freshley was talking about taking the Intro to Business course, but then Nikki was in the health careers, and she changed her mind. So I think the beautiful thing about what District 214 offers is not only the ability to find out what you want to do, but the ability to find out what you don't want to do, right? And we've heard Dr. Schuler, our superintendent, say that several times, is that instead of figuring that out junior year of college, being able to figure out that out junior year of high school is really can save a lot of stress and provide for a much happier life. But yeah, I would echo what Mr. Schoen said as well. I appreciate a community member saying the importance of getting involved in stuff to develop those soft skills. And high school is a time to improve upon your strengths, but then try to figure out your weaknesses and how you can slowly put yourself out there and grow a little bit, and being in those situations where you gotta work with teammates and manage a coach that you might not be thrilled with, or manage a teacher that you might not be thrilled with, or an advisor that that you love, or those are all parts of growth, and high school provides that if you put yourself out there and if you take some chances. So all 6 schools and the alternative schools as well offer so many extracurriculars for students to get involved. So it's not only athletics, it's not only music and fine arts, but the one we talked about is one of the many activities that are offered alongside the career pathway. So
excellent. Thank you.
Mhm.
Emma, I'd like to get a student perspective on that same question. If you could think back to way back when you were an incoming freshman, specific advice about courses or things that you would want an incoming parent or family to know.
So honestly, I think that everyone should at least take one business course, because I feel like not only does it apply to, people that want to pursue in business, but really anyone else that just wants to be in the workplace when they're going to be older. Like, I have a lot of people in my college business class that are doing law and med, and they're still taking it, and it's very interesting for them as well. So just getting involved in a bunch of different classes when you first start off, seeing what you like and working with new people. Like, I know in entrepreneurship, I worked with a group of girls that I've never met in my whole life for a whole year. And that was really interesting because, there's a lot of if it's 4 girls, there can be conflict and, some people not putting in their part of the work when there's certain times to do so. So like being able to figure that out and like get through those things is really important, and something I really am grateful that I learned before going off to college and into my.
Excellent. Thank you for sharing. I do have one final question that came up in the chat. And I want to make sure I'm conscious of everyone's time because there's another session starting up at 7. And that is specifically for National Louis. So I'll throw it to Mr. Watson. Where can people find more information about National Louis University and any dual credit agreements that 214 has?
Fantastic question. First off, I know we're running out of time, but I got to share this. It's about DECA. Everybody's talked about DECA, so it's important that I share this. When I was in high school, I played sports, and my younger brother was very smart, and he was in DECA. And I was like, that's so lame. You're in DECA, right? Fast forward 3 years later, he's the Central Regional Vice President from Minnesota. I go with him to the national conference, and it looks like the NBA Finals. It is an arena full of people. He's reading off teleprompters. Anyways, if you haven't gotten involved with DECA, do it. That's the point. Okay. You can first talk to your counselors at your school. That's probably the easiest way to do it, or your faculty member who you see on this call. They're always aware of the opportunities that are available in terms of dual credit. You can also go to National Louis, nlu.edu.com, and just type in dual credit. All the information will pop up there. And there's also some middle college opportunities for students who want to come on campus. So I teach the middle college classes, and I've visited a lot of the D214 classrooms, and the students are amazing. They tend to really enjoy what we're doing. So we're very pleased that you guys had us on the call. So thank you, Kyle, and everybody else.
Excellent. Thank you. And we'll wrap it with some of similar sentiments of where can you go if you still have questions? Well, you can email any of us on the call at a District 214 email. But really, I would start with the websites. The District 214 website has a myriad of information about college and careers, and specifically the career pathways. I mentioned the thick book that you can get a hold of at the schools should you want it, but feel free to check out the website, both District 214 and your school's website, for more information. And then also, this is a testament, and Mr. Watson mentioned it, Mr. Murphy mentioned it, our school's counselors are experts in these fields. They really do know their stuff, and they really have now a feel for all the different career pathways. So if there's something you heard specific tonight that you want to follow up with in the business pathways, your child's counselor would be the best person to answer that question. So with that being said, some of us have another call coming up with a session 2 panel. Hopefully those in the audience tonight will join a different panel to hear all about another exciting career pathway, but we're going to regroup and do this all over again. So thank you for joining us tonight. We appreciate it.